Hello? Hello? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So we can start it after 5 minutes.
No problem. See, we are, 5 more minutes are there.
നൂതനാശയ വികസനത്തിനായുള്ള കേരള ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് ആൻഡ് ഇന്നൊവേഷൻ സ്ട്രാറ്റജിക് കൗൺസിലിന്റെ മുൻനിര പദ്ധതിയാണ് യങ് ഇന്നോവേറ്റേഴ്സ് പ്രോഗ്രാം. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ തന്നെ മറ്റൊരിടത്തും ഇല്ലാത്തതുണ്ട്. അമേരിക്കയിലെ നാഷണൽ സയൻസ് ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ നോബൽ ജേതാക്കളെ സൃഷ്ടിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി രൂപപ്പെടുത്തിയ മാതൃകയിലുള്ളതുമായ ബൗദ്ധിക പരിപാടിയാണ്.
സ്വപ്നങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യം. ആ സ്വപ്നങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്നൊരു ചിന്താ പദ്ധതി, ആ സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ഒരു സർക്കാർ, ആ സ്വപ്നങ്ങൾ പ്രയോഗത്തിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കുവാൻ KDISCും ഇതേപോലുള്ള സംവിധാനങ്ങളും. അവിടെയാണ് യങ് ഇന്നോവേറ്റേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പ്രോഗ്രാമിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ പ്രസക്തി. അങ്ങനെ ആയിരക്കണക്കിന് സ്വപ്നങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ പ്രയോഗത്തിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കാൻ കഴിയും.
വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുടെ ഭാവനാത്മകതയും ഗവേഷണ താല്പര്യങ്ങളും എല്ലാം തന്നെ ഉപയുക്തമാക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്നത് പ്രകാരം നൂതനമായ ആശയങ്ങൾ അവരിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടാകുന്നത് അടവച്ച് വിരിയിച്ച് അവയെ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ സമ്പദ്ഘടനയുടെ വിപുലീകരണത്തിനും കേരളീയ സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട ജീവിത സാഹചര്യങ്ങൾക്കും എങ്ങനെ ഉപയുക്തമാക്കാം എന്ന പരിശോധനയാണ് ഈ പരിപാടിയിലൂടെ നടത്തുന്നത്.
2021 5500 കേരളത്തിലെ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ, കേരളത്തിലെ ഏതാണ്ട് 16,000 സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ ഉള്ളതിൽ 1/3 സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ ഈ പരിപാടിയുടെ ഭാഗമായി കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഈ പരിപാടിയുടെ ആവശ്യം, അതിൻ്റെ അത്യാവശ്യം എന്ന് ഞാൻ വേണേൽ പറയാം, അതിനുള്ള ഒരു അംഗീകാരം കൂടിയാണ് ഇത്രയധികം സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ ഈ പ്രസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയുന്നത്. 30,000 ആശയങ്ങൾ ഉരുത്തിരിഞ്ഞ് വരും എന്നുള്ളതാണ് കാണുന്നത്. അതിൽ 1,00,000 കുട്ടികൾ ഇതിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ കഴിയും. ഒരുപക്ഷെങ്കിൽ സൗത്ത് ഏഷ്യയിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇന്നൊവേഷൻ പ്രോഗ്രാം ആകും. അതാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത.
21ാം നൂറ്റാണ്ടിലെ വെല്ലുവിളികളെ നേരിടാനായി വിദ്യാർത്ഥി സമൂഹത്തിനെ ആഹ്വാനം ചെയ്യുന്ന നമുക്ക് വളരെയധികം ഗൈഡഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു അപ്രോച്ചാണ് യങ് ഇന്നോവേറ്റേഴ്സ് പ്രോഗ്രാം തരുന്നത്. ഈ ഒരു മോഡൽ കുറച്ച് കുട്ടികൾ, ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ 30,000 ഐഡിയാസ്, ആശയങ്ങളും 1,00,000 വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളും എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഈ കേരളത്തിലെ ഏത് മേഖലയിലായാലും ഏത് വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ സ്ഥാപനത്തിനായാലും ഉള്ള കുട്ടികളുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് ഈ ഒരു സങ്കല്പം എത്തിച്ചാൽ തന്നെ കേരളത്തിന്റെ വികസനത്തിലേക്കുള്ള ഒരു നിർണായകമായ ഒരു ചുവടുവയ്പായി അതിനെ കണക്കാക്കാം.
3 കൊല്ലത്തേക്ക് കൈപിടിച്ച് മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോവുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് KDISC YIP 2021 ഭാഗമായിട്ട് നൽകുന്ന. അത് കേരളത്തിലെ നോളജ് ക്രിയേഷൻ, വിജ്ഞാന പുനരുൽപാദന പ്രക്രിയ, വിജ്ഞാന പുനരുൽപാദന പ്രവൃത്തിയിലൂടെ പ്രാദേശികമായിട്ടുള്ള പുത്തൻ അറിവുണ്ടാകുകയും അതിന്റെ ഭാഗമായി മൂല്യവർദ്ധനവും ഉൽപാദനക്ഷമതയും ഉറപ്പുവരുത്തുകയും അതിലൂടെ ഒരു വൈജ്ഞാനിക സമൂഹത്തിലേക്കുള്ള കേരളത്തിന്റെ പ്രയാണത്തിന് പങ്കാളിയാവാൻ കഴിയുന്ന രൂപത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു പരിപാടിയായിട്ട് വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്ക് അവസരം ഒരുക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് യങ് ഇന്നോവേറ്റേഴ്സ് പ്രോഗ്രാമിന്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് KDISC ലക്ഷ്യമിടുന്നത്.
Good evening, all. Hello, am I audible? Oh, good evening, all. We have in Sajikumar sir for the speaker of the event. He is a principal consultant, WPRM consultant, and former professor and HOD in civil engineering, Government Engineering College, Thrissur. Sir, Sajikumar sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we can start, sir.
Okay. So, can I start now?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Basically, I'll be talking about the water. Good evening, all, and I'll be talking about the water scarcity in Kerala and notion, truth, and actions. I'll start with I'll indicate the notion which has been engaged into the mind, which create the major problems in the environment. I'll just start with a small slide. Here I've shown several items over here, like diamond, gold, platinum, air, water, food, and then shelter. So among these, which one is the most precious item? Basically, if you ask for the precious item, we will select the rarest of the rarest thing. Probably we will select a diamond. This is our notion. We normally consider whatever is rare is considered to be the precious item. This is a notion which has been engraved into our mind, and that create a lot of problem in the environment. Is it the right perception? Say, for example, if you cannot live without a few minutes without air. You cannot live without a few days without water. You cannot live without, a few weeks without food, and shelter is another very important item. So among these, but we consider the air is free and water is free, and hence it is freely available. It is abundant in the nature. See, and so naturally we consider it as to be cheap. These are cheap. Cheap in the sense it is not having much worth. And this is a major problem in our, this is a notion which has been created into our mind. So whatever is available in plenty is considered to be cheap, whereas whatever is available in rare is considered to be precious. And so this notion has created this is a basic problem. This is the basic idea which create the entire problem in the environment. So in fact, the mother nature, just like our parents, has given the whatever is required, whatever is essential in plenty. But we mistook it as cheap because it is available in plenty. So when you have we in economics we have the demand and supply relationship, and say when there is a large demand, so naturally the price will go up, and like that. So here water and air is available in plenty, and so naturally we consider these are to be cheap. And this is a major problem, and this is a major idea, or this is a major problem in our mind. Okay. Now, basically, we need to change this one by considering it as we should go for a development, a sustainable development. Now just see, I'll quote this word from our nation, father of nation, that is, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. And this statement gives you the entire picture of sustainability. And another quote which I like most is, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. And I'll cite a small example of, see, just Japan perspective on resources. I'll cite a small incident in which, a team from India went to Japan, and they went into a restaurant and started, ordering several items, and which they cannot eat. So there was so much of excess food, and then they paid the bill, and they are about to leave. At the time, one fellow from the Japan stopped them, and you are not supposed to order this much food and waste like this. Then the team members from the India said that we have already paid it, then why should you bother? Then they said it is not like that. It is the resource is this is a national resource, and you are not supposed to waste it. And this is a perspective that should be built into our mind. And the sustainable development, see, basically the sustainable development is defined as the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own demands. Now, at this juncture, I would like to ask, I would like to ask a few questions. Are we ready to forgo a few comforts? So, for example, pen. Are we ready to use an ink pen, which is more eco-friendly? Or can you get rid of the use of AC? Or can you use cycle? Are we slaves of peer pressure? Most of the time, we are very much slaves of the peer pressure, and that's why we go for a high-end course and so many things like that. So, are we concerned about the peers? And are we not hypocrites? So, basically, we talk a lot about sustainable development. So, are we ready to accept all these ideas? And what is your resolution for coming tomorrow? Now, with this small introduction on the basic problem of the environment, and I'll just look into the hydrology and the water and the hydrolysis. When you want to talk about water, we cannot touch without the hydraulic cycle, and we have been studying the hydraulic cycle from the class 3 or 4, and we very well know that it is the endless movement of the water in the hydrosphere. So it moves from from the water bodies to the atmosphere, and then it gets condensed. And so the hydrology and hydraulic cycle can be defined like this: occurrence, movement. It describes the occurrence, movement, the distribution and circulation and storage and exploration, development of water. Okay, so basically this water movement, if any one of this water movement is affected by any of the factors, you'll face certain calamities, either in the form of drought or in the form of floods. So this is, so we need to have a very good idea about the hydraulic cycle, though we have been studying it right from the 3rd class. In fact, it has been taught in the Master of MTech level, at the MTech level, even at the MTech level. So, but of course, the details will be entirely different. And so what I want to say is that, see, basically this cycle, and now I just want to indicate one of the, when you say this, when you want to explain about this cycle, there are a lot of uncertainties involved in this cycle. I'll cite a small example over here. And say, for example, when you want to refer something uncertain, we used to say it is like a weather forecast. You used to mock at these predictions. And Now, I just want to indicate the complexity of these predictions just by looking at this figure. Somebody is taking a puff of a cigarette, and I just want to ask you, is it possible to predict the path through which the smoke moves? Any answer? Hello? Is it possible to predict the path through which beforehand? Okay, is it possible to predict the path of these smokes beforehand? And if at all it is possible, you need to model a lot of processes which are linked with the nature. When a process is linked with the nature, lot of complexities comes into picture, and that's why we have a lot of problems. But still we have certain, especially in the tropical area, you have a lot of uncertainties in the weather, and that's why you'll be getting a wrong weather forecast in most of the time. The parameters which are involved are enormous. Okay, so with this basic introduction on hydrology, I would like to highlight the paradox of Kerala. And basically, we have a very high feeling that there are a lot of rainfall. Of course, it is a lot of water. The truth is that there is a lot of rainfall. Doesn't mean that there are a lot of water. Okay, so if you compare the annual average rainfall, you could easily see that it's around 3,000 millimeter per year in Kerala, whereas the national average is around 1,150 millimeter. It is almost 3 times. And we have a lush green topography and plenty of water bodies. Okay, so and you could see here these are the variation, and it varies from say 2,000 to 3,500 millimeter over the Kerala. And of course, we have a lot of rainfall. And at the same time, we have droughts. Okay, we have droughts, and these are image of 2016, this 2017. And please note that this is not a, pond or something. This is a river. It has been dried up. And here 2019, and immediately after the flood, 2018 flood, and this is a case of the flood. So we have both extremes. At the same time, we have a lot of water. We have a notion that we have a lot of, we have got a lot of water. Is it true? And now let us look into the basic concept, here. And before that, I'll just like to remind you regarding a few 2 cases, droughts in Kerala, and it has been taken from the Manorama Online. And because we have a brief memory, short memory, rather not brief, but short memory. So I'll just give you a few. This has happened in 2017.
നെയ്യാറ്റിക്കര താലൂക്കിലെ കുടിവെള്ളത്തിനും ജലസേചനത്തിനും ഏക ആശ്രയമായ നെയ്യാർ ഡാം 84.75 മീറ്റർ സംഭരണ ശേഷിയുള്ള ഇവിടെ ഇനി അവശേഷിക്കുന്നത് 78 മീറ്റർ വെള്ളം മാത്രം. കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷം ഇതേ സമയത്ത് 84 മീറ്റർ വെള്ളം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന സ്ഥാനത്താണ് ഇത്. അഗസ്ത്യാർകൂടത്തിന്റെ താഴ്വാരത്തുള്ള നെയ്യാർ ഡാമിൽ ഇത്രത്തോളം വെള്ളം കുറയുന്നത് ഇതാദ്യമാണ്. നെയ്യാറിലെ ആശങ്ക കൃഷിയും കുടിവെള്ളവുമാണെങ്കിൽ കേരളത്തിലേക്ക് ആവശ്യമായ വൈദ്യുതിയുടെ ഭൂരിഭാഗം ഉൽപ്പാദിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഇടുക്കി അണക്കെട്ടിന്റെ അവസ്ഥ പരിതാപകരമാണ്. കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷം ജനുവരി 2ാം വാരമുള്ളതിനേക്കാൾ 23 അടി കുറവാണ് ജലനിരപ്പ്. ചുരുക്കം പറഞ്ഞാൽ കുടിവെള്ളവും മുട്ടും കേരളം ഇരുട്ടിലേക്ക് നീങ്ങാനുള്ള സാധ്യതയും ഏറെയാണ്. കൂടി അറിയുമ്പോഴാണ് വരാനിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രതിസന്ധിയുടെ ആഴം ബോധ്യപ്പെടുക.
Connection is on. Hello. Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Taken, sir.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
One minute. Hello. Power is.
Hello, sir. Okay, come, sir.
Just. Now, regarding the Kerala flood,
Sir, ഇപ്പോൾ visible ആണ്. Hello, sir. Hello. Sajikumar, sir. Hello, sir. കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ sir?
കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ഇല്ല sir, ഇപ്പോൾ കാണുന്നില്ല. Hello, hello, sir.
I'll share on it. There is an interruption in the network, and that's the problem. Is it visible now? Hello.
Sir, കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Screen share is.
ഇപ്പോൾ കാണുന്നില്ല sir.
Okay.
ഇപ്പോൾ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്.
I'm sorry. See, I want to travel, and say in between. I mean, I stopped it at one place, and so there is some problem with the internet connection. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'll just. So now let us look at what are the reason for this paradox. See, basically we have a notion that there are a lot of water and at the same time we have the drought. Okay, we have floods and as well as drought in Kerala. And what are the reasons? So the reason could be divided into two: natural reason and similarly we could and man-made reasons. And one of the natural reasons are spatial variation. As well as Kerala is concerned, the spatial variation is not much, and as could we see that it is from 2,000 to 3,000 millimeter. And whereas if you consider the entire India, you could see that the spatial variation of rainfall is plays a major role. As far as Kerala is concerned, spatial variation is not much, and temporal variation is another reason where you could see that the most of the rainfall, about 75% of the rainfall, is received in June, July, August, and remaining 25% in the next month. Say, in fact, from August 15 to November 15, you will be getting next 25%. So for the next 6 months, you will be getting only about 15% to 15%. Okay, so 75%, 10 to 15% rainfall, and that's the reason we have a problem in. This is a natural reason. Okay, and another one is the slope. See, what I have done is, this is a Periyar, and I have drawn the elevation along this line, along the stretches of Periyar. You could see that initial stretches are the very high slopes, So naturally, the water received in this area will be moving towards the plain, and it's accumulated over here, and so it causes flood. And the water that is received here will not be stopped there, and it will be moving towards this. And then that is another reason. On the other hand, the average evaporation from the area is remain to be same. This is a per day evaporation, average evaporation per day in millimeter. Okay, so these are the basic natural reasons. There are man-made reasons. Man-made reasons. Deforestation is one of the reason. Why do you have? See, when you have a when we have a forest, what shall happen is there will be a lot of humus layer that is being created over the surface of the soil, and so which can absorb a lot of water, and hence it can delay the movement of the water over the surface, and which in turn increases the percolation into the storage. Okay, and land use change. This is a land use in 1973, and this is in 2006. You could see the lot of changes has taken place, and here these areas become plantations. So when you say the plantation, if you look from the Google Earth or Google, you could see that it is a complete greenery. But the problem is that if it becomes plantation, the humus layer is lost, and so naturally the amount of water that is get into the soil becomes smaller. And another reasons like quarry, then brick for constructions. So what shall happen is that the clay will be taken away, and the paddy feed will be converted into the paddy feed will be used for creating making bricks, and so naturally, and similarly it will be converted for building houses. So naturally, what happens is, if it is a paddy field, what shall happen is it will be filled with water for the entire crop period. So naturally, there is a lot of chance for water to get into the soil and percolate. And so these are the another reason paddy field construction. And you could see that the flood is occurring because of the construction in the floodplain. See, basically each river has a floodplain. So in the normal condition, water will be moving along this line, whereas during flood, this will be flooded over the entire area. So now what shall happen is the people have started using this area because it is not being flooded. And so what they do is they will construct the build houses over here. And so naturally what shall happen? This area, then they will complain that the entire area is being flooded. Their houses are flooded because they construct their houses in the floodplain. Okay, of course, it is because of the several economic reasons, and the construction of the waterway by this. Okay, so naturally, when the waterway is reduced, the water will overflow. Okay, these are the main reasons for, and then the construction of the large embankments, and then climate change. You could see that Arabian Sea showed an increase of 1.2 to 1.4 degrees centigrade in the last 20 years, and which in turn increases the cyclones in this area by 52%, and reduction of the cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. And this climate change has created 52% increase in the cyclone in the Arabian Sea region. So that's why we are getting a lot of cyclones or low water pressure areas, such that we get a lot of problem over this coast. And now let us look into the, basically we will be measuring the rainfall as a depth of water. See, basically what we are trying to say that it is being measured at the centimeter, irrespective of the area, whereas a runoff is measured per volume per meter cube per second. And now let us say here this is the rainfall and evaporation per month. As you could see here, the evaporation here is larger, and here from November to December, this value is larger, whereas evaporation is larger, whereas rainfall is smaller. And on the other hand, here you have a larger rainfall area where evaporation is small. I mean, evaporation is smaller. So naturally, you could see that this is the actual rainfall and this is the evaporation. And if you can store this much amount of water, you'll be safe. Okay, you can utilize it for fun. Now, let us take an example of Warmaneer Basin. What we are trying to say that the area is 787 square kilometer and rainfall is 3000 millimeter and evapotranspiration is around 1600 millimeter over the entire year, and remaining is 1400 millimeter. So total volume available will be 100 million meter cube. So if you want to store this much area of water with a depth of say 10 meter, average depth of 10 meter, you require 110 kilometer square. It is about 1/8 of the area. So naturally you cannot store all the water. Okay, these are not a practical solution. Okay, now on the other hand, if you take the subsurface storage, you have an area of this much area, total area, and rainfall is this much, and it was same. The whole area of catchment is available for subsurface storage, assuming an yield. That means the amount of water that can be stored in a 1 meter cube of will be equal to 0.1. Say specific yield means, it means that if you take 1 meter cube of soil, it can contain 0.15 meter cube of water. So the depth of soil required is 10 meters. So what does it mean? If you have a 10 meter of soil within the entire catchment, you will be able to store the entire water, provided you are allowing the water to percolate. So this is a practical solution, but we need to devise the method for increasing the percolations. And there is another small comparison here. Say, suppose you have a family of 5 members and say total requirement per day is 6. See, this is a per capita consumption. In 1 day, you require 135 liters. This is an average amount of water required by a person. So naturally 675 million, and total requirement for the summer months will be equal to this multiplied by 6 into 30. And so it comes to be about 121 millimeter cube. And so the area required, assuming a depth of 30, is 40 meters square. It is approximately 1 cent. And normally people would like to do this 6.5 by 6.5 meter. So actually, say normally the people will be building houses in a 5 or 4 or 5 cents, and they won't like to build a tank like this. This is not a practical solution. On the other hand, if it is a groundwater storage, assume that this much and say same amount of water is to be stored. Area required for assuming a soil depth of 10 meter and specific yield, you require only 81 meters square, and 2 cents of water is 2 cents is required for storing this much amount of water. So if it is stored within the soil, but this is a practical solution. Okay, if it is stored within the soil, you can store this water within the within 2 cents of. Okay, whereas you will be having the total area can be utilized for the storing the water. So if you are building a house in 3 or 4 cents, you will be, of course you can. This is a practical solution, but there is a problem. The problem is that, say, suppose you have a plot like this, and you started conserving the water, and you are not letting the water out, and you are completely keeping the water, and it percolates. Now, suppose the other people are not doing it, what shall happen? It simply flows out. Of course, it's not at the rate of the surface, but it slowly moves out. So on the other hand, if all the people are doing it, the water level will move up. So this is so if you are united, we can achieve a lot. And then we have the water harvesting method, groundwater recharging, and say here what we are trying to do is you are taking the entire water from the roof and getting it percolated here, such that this soil, this area will be, the water level in the area will be increased, and then you can take out. And this is known as the water harvesting methods. So then see, I'll give you a small experience in my house and see what See, this is my actually what are this paved area. Paved area means by using the pavement blocks. So normally people do is they let the entire water towards this is my entrance. So normally people will allow the water to move out of this area. So what I have done is instead of that, what I have done is I have created a low-lying area over here, this area, and this is my entrance. Okay, so the pavement area is not sloped towards the entrance, rather it is sloped towards this low-lying area, so that the entire water that is received in this
Hello, sir. Sir? Hello?
I was not able to share. Hello? 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 Hello?
Sir, Kilka, sir.
Host disabled the screen, participant screen sharing. That's what the message it is being displayed. Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Kilka.
This is the average following. Basically, I am discussing about this one, and what I want to say is that see small things which can create a difference in the total water conservation. Now, let us look at the actual water usage. Flushing of the toilet required 9.5 liters. So the innovators can think of flushing of toilet with lesser amount, so compromising the quality. Taking bath normally requires about 80 liters per person, and some, of course, some may use water and some use lesser water. Then average and shower per minute. Say 5 liters per minute is the average shower, and the people can think of the, shower with smaller water by creating mist of water, and thereby reducing the water usage, and then taking baths. Then using washing machine 80 liters. And hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Audible? And now there are a few other ways to conserve water: fit a low flow taps and shower heads, method of reducing water usage. So the people can innovate over this area, so that the amount of water that is used for reducing the quality, the people's comfort, and reduce the showering time. The method of reducing, like self-stopping shower or something like that. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Kikau, sir.
Okay. Natural. Then. Pardon?
Sir, കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Hello. Okay. And this is the area where you can think of the innovation like don't put food waste. So processing of the food waste into dry and water separate and creating manure, and then plant or plant water. Rain garden. Rain garden is nothing but an area which is being created within a region, such that the entire water comes over there and water planted and eat local. You can think of an application, mobile application for knowing the local made products, and seawater. Then seawater desalination and new methods for seawater land. And think about shorter length of the piping for hot water taps. And these are certain methods which you can think of the conserving water, and some ways of innovation, water saving taps, water saving flushes, mapping of underground pipelines, because this is one of the major problems that is faced by the people. Say once the water is laid, pipeline is laid, and the people will not have any record. And see, normally the older already laid pipe. So how to get the map of a oil pipe? Okay, so mapping of the underground pipeline, leak detection system in water supply schemes. This is another area which requires once it is laid and suppose the leak occurs in a particular pipeline, it is detected only if it is, the leak is very large and the water comes to the top of the surface. Rather, if there is a deep percolation into the soil, you won't even notice. And water harvesting innovation on the water harvesting method, there are several equipments which you can utilize for letting out the water. Say when you harvest the water, from the roof, there will be a lot of debris, and that can be diverted. In the initial rainfall will move the debris towards the outlet and will be removed. So you can innovate certain methods for removing the initial portion and automatically, and then later the water is being into the, and then increasing the percolation of water. So you can devise or suggest certain new method for increasing the percolation over the, as I already indicated. Say once the percolation is increased, you'll have a greater larger amount of water availability. And the rainfall at a particular location. See, for example, if you go to certain other countries like Canada and other things, so you'll be getting a prediction localized. localized prediction of the weather and how much will be the temperature on next day. I mean, then temperature, I mean, rainfall, whether rainfall will be there or not. So all such local information will be available. But see, basically, if you consider the tropic, it's very difficult because the lot of problems, and so you can think of the prediction of this by utilizing the data and then try to predict, or you can devise the methods for predicting the rainfall at a particular location, and then the flood inundation mapping from remote sensing. Okay, so basically, when you want to have when the flood occurs, how do you get the flood inundation map? So, how much area is being flooded? And this information is very much required for the time. What happens is during the flood, this data will be lost because the people won't like to, record this data at that time because the people will be engaged with the flood mitigation processes. And on the other hand, if you are able to use the remote data, but there's a small problem because if it is in the visible region, it will be, if you are using the data from the visible region, it is blocked by the clouds. On the other hand, if you are using it from the away from the visible spectrum, probably you'll be able to use that. And so then cooling and heating by using geothermal, and these are a few tips for innovation. So there's few areas, and these areas are not exhaustive, and you can have a large number of other areas also. And another one is a desalination, and a desalination for a particular small desalination units for households, and so that the salty water be utilized for drinking purposes. Of course, this has to be energy efficient, and technology should be affordable. And then you can think of one of the major problem in the water, major problem that is faced by people of locally is the cheap and as well as efficient method for iron removal from the wells. Okay. There are so many such things which are local, small scale items. Say if it is an iron removal, if you will be having a larger equipment and other thing for industrial purposes, and then similarly for there are several, even for houses it is available, iron removal resins are available, but the problem is that it is the operation cost of that is very high. So you can think of such method by means of which you will be able to reduce the amount of, hello? Okay, so I think I will stop at this. Hello? Hello?
Hello, take it, sir.
Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry that I told you now I was in travel and I am in a remote place. That's why the connection is unstable.
No issue, sir. No issue. We understand that.
Okay, and that's why I said 1st of August. I'll be back by tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there are a lot of disturbance.
No problem, sir. No problem. Okay.
Okay, but you could easily see the number of participants are very less. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
This is because of the concept which I was mentioned here. The water is plenty, and we are not bothered about the availability of water. That's why.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Okay then.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I am sorry for the interruptions because I'm not in. I'm not in at my residence, and I'm away from my residence, and so I try I thought there won't be any problem, but there are certain limitations in the. Okay.
No issue, sir. No issue. We understand that.
Okay.
No issue.
Okay. Okay then.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.